And welcome to another episode of DIOTALK. I'm Dio. Let's talk. I'd like to welcome my guests of the evening. Give a warm welcome to Stephen S. Saldi, Evis Matos, and Nicholas Harris. Welcome to the show, guys. How you guys doing?
Great. How about yourself?
Great. All right. So today's topic is, I don't want to give it a topic. I'm gonna call it the Lost Tapes.
Lost Tapes. Okay.
Yeah, no topic. Lost Tapes. That's a new series. I'm gonna start with you guys. So we were talking about a little bit about cannabis right now, which is recreational here in New Jersey now. In some states, not yet, like in Atlanta, right, Elvis?
Right.
And I we said a lot of interesting fun facts. So just as I'm gonna ask this question again just because we started recording. So in the state of New Jersey, a couple of weeks ago, there was on the media saying that they how is it? I apologize if I'm botching this. If you guys, go look it up. That now New Jersey police can now smoke marijuana while not being on duty.
That's crazy.
Oh shit, that's what's up, man.
I wouldn't be surprised. Less
I'm not mad. I'm not. That's cool. That's actually dope. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's dope, in my opinion. Because I've been on a ride along before, right? And I got family members in law enforcement.
Was it? I'm sorry. Were you willing to go on the ride along, or was it one of those ride alongs that just take you by force? And that's not a diss. That's an honest question.
No. I know what you're talking about. But no, it was a legitimate, they on the field to see how a cop life is, basically, things to deal with in and out. Because I'm one of them type people, I want to understand both sides of the fences. So I'm always willing to hear the other side versus just being biased towards one side, So I went on it and I see how it is. Like, it's a different world. Just like it's dudes that been locked up and stuff. And, when you go to jail, it's a different world than what you used to out here and everything else. But I think that would be good for cops or state troopers because it's simple fact, okay, it's off duty. That's fine. Marijuana to me and to a lot of other people and at the medically standpoint, it's really a reliever, stress reliever and everything. It really does help you mellow you out and everything like that. So it's more benefits than anything. Marijuana hasn't killed anybody, not to this day. That's to my knowledge.
Yeah, facts.
All other stuff.
I agree.
I think it's good. And I can understand the backlash that it may receive just because of the fact, cops were arresting people for marijuana. Now it's legal for them to smoke marijuana and this and third. But also, I remember there are a lot of cops that actually, truth be told, I know that were in Philly, PA, some in Jersey that I met. They was like, they told me straight up, like, we don't care about the marijuana. They let a lot of folks go. I mean, it was people that got caught up with it, but there were some cops out there be like, man, I'm not like, go ahead. You know what I mean? They leave that be, brush that to the side, wouldn't worry about it. So I'm pretty sure because it was petty arrests. A lot of people consider them things petty arrests versus what's really going on here, what types of arrests really need to happen.
Yeah.
So it can serve as a good stress reliever because not a lot of cops are willing to go to the therapy like they supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be
totally understandable.
This could be another form of therapy for them. Like, hey, I probably can't talk about it, but I could smoke my feelings about it and at home just chill and I'll be all right for the next work day. You know what I'm saying? It's a possibility. So, I think it's dope overall, to be honest with you.
Steven? Any thoughts?
To be honest, I think it's good. I mean, I think of it as it helps, especially people that have like diseases, like what is it? It's not Crohn's, right? For medicinal
purposes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good for them because it helps relieve pain for people that are in pain. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything against it. I think I'm all for it.
What do you think about like police being able to do it now? I think even though I think Steve Phillips, was it Phillips? I'm sorry, I keep watching the governor's name. This Phillips. He said that even though he said no, they can't do that. But anyway, what's your intake on cops being able to do that now?
I think they should be able to. They go through a lot of stress. When they're at work. Their job isn't easy. Mm-hmm. I think they should. Some of them, might have some not psychological, but it's what's the word I'm looking for?
Trauma.
Yes, trauma. Thank you. Trauma. Mm-hmm. It would help with their trauma. I think I'm all for it. Hey, they're just like you and I, but they're in their uniform. Everybody should smoke.
What about you, Elvis?
Man, listen. I made a joke, but it's the truth. Look, this is the real world, yo. This is what it is. This is what we live in. And we have to understand that the more certain people try to keep on controlling and limiting certain things, the worse people are gonna push back. It happens time and time and time again. You keep on trying to control human beings, grown men and women, on what they can and can't do. They're going to continue to push back over and over through the generations with bigger examples, stronger people, more intellectual ideas, you name it. It's been coming in the decades that you've seen, that we've been around to see. We've seen all of the elevation and growth towards not just the weed, but towards everything else that's been an issue as far as just living in this United States. I mean, point blank period, I agree completely that cops should be able to smoke. He was saying perfectly, a cop is just a uniform. You a person. Your job is a cop. What you are 24 hours a day is a human being. And they do not teach anything or next to anything about how to handle or deal with those things, from what I understand. If they do anything different now and implement better, wonderful. Add the marijuana in there because it is medicinal, despite recreational being an option. That doesn't automatically mean people are going to turn into parties. This is the real world. People need to stop acting like they know better for everyone else when they're people just like us. The only way we're going to get better is continuing to share with each other and going through this experience, not dividing it because fear or whatever the hell else people want to use for control purposes, bro. So I'm hats off and all the way in for cops being able to smoke. Hopefully it really does help them chill the fuck out a little bit more. Just flat out.
Yeah,
exactly. It can have a better effect.
I feel that. I agree. I actually agree with each and one of you on your statement. Like, on the other hand, I don't disagree, but I don't also approve, right? Because like everything you're saying is facts, right? Stress, whatever. But then yet again, like as a cop, you need to be aware your full senses, right? Awareness. And what I mean by that is that we as people, we tend to take advantage of certain situations, right? On the down low, like some people, wake up in the morning, go to work, and the coffee, they have whiskey. Who's to say that everything has vape pens, right? Who's to say that as they're doing their patrol, they're not hitting on the vape pen, and it has cannabis inside of it, right? Liquid form. Like that puts them in danger. You're not in your full senses when you do that. You get what I'm saying? Like I've seen cops like hit the pen. Like it doesn't have to be weed, but hit the pen to, have their whatever that chemical is in cigarettes, the nicotine, right? Who's to say they don't do the same thing now with the weed being legal and they can smoke on duty? See, these are my questions, right?
Those are fair.
And I'm not saying, and when I ask these questions, I'm not knocking them. I'm actually concerned about their safety. Because let me finish, brother.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I got something to say out there with my hand up. That's all.
You're about to come in. I'm gonna let you do you. All right. And I'm not speaking of my concern. I'm speaking of their well-being. Because you as a cop, there's a lot of stress. Every call could be your last. You never know who you encounter or how hostile the person is or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're under the effects, not everybody's the same. Not, some people smoke, they work. They work, it gets them going. Some people just smoke and get laid back. Some people smoke and get paranoia.
I have a lot to add about those.
So not everybody has the same effect. And like I said, I these questions, I bring them up because not about me, it's about them. It's difficult to see you bury a cop that and then he shouldn't have gone. That's difficult. So I'm done with my statement.
What I would say is I agree with you, Theo. Yeah, that part and that aspect, yes, I agree. Yeah, there would be a concern. And I think with that, basically parameters would have to be set on, how you do on a job. You gotta remember this too, because there's body cams.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, also dash cams inside and out. You know what I'm saying? So there would be extra measures taken if they're fully allowing this.
Yeah. I mean,
you put the extra measures.
The drug test has to go out the window.
No, the drug test could stay because
you can't, because it takes at least 30 days to clean your system.
Yeah, but look, okay, so we're talking about marijuana. If we know marijuana's in it, that's fine. But if you're a cop that's on cocaine, crack, heroin, ecstasy, and shit like that, you still need the drug test for that. The drug test just don't test for marijuana. That's a numerous drug test. So, so with that being said, if they put common sense, logical parameters around it, I think a lot of that stuff, the concerns, as you stated, can be answered. And obviously more studying into it and everything else, you can figure it out more, So as long as you're allowed to study it, come up with different solutions and parameters, honestly, overall, I think it will be all right.
Okay, that's good. Elvis?
I got a few things, man. I don't disagree with either one of you guys. Speaking to those things and those measures, I say still allow the full use, recreational or medical, of the marijuana or of the weed. That's that aside.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're talking about their well-being and we're talking about their safety, we need to have that discussion. It has to also be discussed in and around everything that encompasses the police officer, not just the one new thing that everybody has an imaginary idea of what it can do. And you made a good point that it does affect everyone differently. And because of that psychology is why we should invest more funding into the psychological treatment and the mental health treatment of police officers, just like we should be doing that for veterans as well, military veterans as well. And so we shouldn't be taking away more access to treatment. We should be implementing more ways, like Nick says, common sense measures to help them mitigate, deal with, and cope with the circumstances that they have going on day in and day out. Sometimes you got police officers who use insulin because they're diabetic on duty. You can't necessarily cherry pick anyone individually because they're all individual. You have to understand that they are and set an overall way of being able to tackle each individual issue. but it has to be about starting the access, not waiting for them to mess up to then put measures on them.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that there's a level that we need to mitigate about their safety, implement common sense, but then also have access to other measures to be able to decompress, de-escalate, be able to put things into better perspective. Mental health treatment is something that really needs to continue to be dived in and invested in, not just for the idea of it because it's a fad right now, but because, like you say, it really is about the safety of these people.
I think you really hit the nail on the spot when you said about waiting to mess up to come up with a solution, right? And I'm a bit on the fence with that, right? Because like the government, right? The government essentially, the way they work, believe it or not, if you look in, it's like if they're the parents and we're the kids. A lot of what happens in society is basically cause and effect, right? They're waiting for you to fuck up. It's like if you have kids and you keep telling them not to do something, and you already know what's the outcome of it, right? You can see it coming until they do it. I got you. Right. So like, I think, right, and I could be wrong. I don't know about this shit, but it's just a matter of time. Wait for somebody to fuck up.
One rule, the rest of us type.
Yeah,
of situation.
and that's how things work. You have to fuck up, and like, how do you think all these laws throughout the years have been able to be created? You have to fuck up,
and that's what
That's
what they avoid. That's what they take away from us when they try to control something and basically tell the future beforehand.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
There's a reason why they do all those drunk campaigns not to use drugs. How many people let that damn tiger down? Right? I mean,
do you guys
that
think
tiger was cool with me?
do you guys think so there's different departments as an officer, so should the bomb squad, should everybody be able to smoke, especially when it's something a dangerous?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Steven. I don't know about you guys. In my opinion, like, if there's no preference, you either all can smoke or you all can't smoke.
And I'll use my logic with that. Talking about that system and going into the individualities of it. Yes, it's super, super in depth, but you got to also keep into perspective. They're not the bomb squad just because they like to blow shit up. They had actual training that they had to learn and actually pass to get into that. You know what I'm saying? It's like the military. You don't just jump and get into that because you said, I want to shoot things. Yeah, come on down. That's not how life works. That's not how we do things in these systems and these places. We want the best of the best. And that also includes your best mental state.
Yeah, so but that's a simple yes and no. That's a yes. Yes, what you're saying, but actually also no, because a lot of cops get into the force because who they know.
I'm a full yes.
My daddy was a cop, so I don't become a cop. My grandpa was a cop. I was, like,
I'm a full yes.
Especially if you're like a community that's well known and like know each other, like.
But you know why though? Because this forces the change. They don't want to implement anything better right now to get better at, pulling the best of us to be in these jobs and positions. Mm-hmm. So if this is what it's going to take to push them to be excellent, I'm all for it. If they need to be the best of the best to be cops who can smoke, I would rather that than some rando off the street just because they need to fill seats and numbers.
Mm. I feel like they need to be tested under the being high. I'm gonna use it this way.
The drug test.
Yeah, their reaction time, you know, because they got to be put in that situation where they're high as hell. Now you got to react. Is your reaction time going to be the same as you would be sober? No. I mean,
You know what?
And we're assuming every cop is just going to choose to be high on duty.
I mean, we live in the world that everybody in 2020, everybody really would like to be high so they don't
Of
deal with their
course.
problems.
Of course, I'm high every other day. But look, here you go. Here's a parameter that I'm thinking about. Okay, so you know how, because y'all know I like looking into stocks and investments as well. So you know how they got breathalyzers for DUI people? With the breathalyzer, if you blow a certain level, you can't operate the vehicle. It won't allow it to start. So, and they have the same thing for
Cannabis?
Yeah, they have the same thing for that too. So I think that would be one of the measures that they would implement as well. So say like, okay, all right, we're allowing y'all to do that, but we're not going to allow you to operate shit. If I mean, then honestly, you high as hell, you blow into the thing and then you can't start it, you can be like, oh fuck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that could be one of the measures, depending on how they implement it. I'm not 100% sure, but that can be one of them that will sit there and help, like, as you said, people are affected differently by it, this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be. And I mean, I know everybody's saying law enforcement is supposed to be all strict and this, that, and the third. No, law enforcement is strict, but it's also supposed to have some fun in it, and some because the thing is, like, okay, if you grew up in the hood, for example, or whatever area you're going, you want to be good with the people in the area you're with. They'll help you get your job done. They'll look out for you too.
Yeah.
So it's white mom, y'all basically wipe each other's hands, basically. You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, yeah, it's another measure I was just thinking about. I said, damn, well, they got breathalyzers for people that got DUIs. I said, and I already know they do have the breathalyzers for THC. So,
I can't. I don't know. I wouldn't respect a cop on being high on duty.
They're public. They have no choice but to hold a certain standard in public because they have to be ready at all times to be able to serve the public.
Yeah, I mean, off duty, yeah, do whatever the fuck they want. On duty, I can't.
Understandable, of course.
The scenario deal. Think about yourself as a captain in a precinct, and I imagine you implementing in your precinct, in your building, for whatever district you follow, you cover, that you would implement in your district because it's yours. It's cool. They say in America that it's legal, but here in this precinct, y'all are gonna show up sober, type of stuff. I feel like then at that point, it's gonna be up to those responsible to implement measures because we're adults. You're not gonna just take away things from people like their kids.
And boom.
Empower and encourage them. But if they mess up, you're gonna be like, hey man, you gotta go. I told you what it was. I'm sorry, but you knew you gotta be out now. I feel like implementing that measure and having that logic that you bring will be able to really balance the situation out. People aren't gonna just choose to smoke because they can. I got a job that I gotta worry about. I'll smoke when I get home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the ones that fuck up with it, obviously they'll suffer the consequences. Like, bottom line, like that's just the way it is, because like if you on duty, you get caught drinking, they're gonna come after you, you know what I mean? IA gonna start looking out, and you're like, hold on, this motherfucker was drinking on this arrest. You can smell alcohol on his breath and the fucking
like over here you can't
arrest and shit.
Over here they treat, like, how they treat drinking driving. If you're smoke, they treat it the same way. So you can't smoke and drive. You can't operate any heavy machinery while you're high. So they give it give it the same.
I've never done that.
They give it the same standards as if you were drinking and driving. Which is, I think it's okay.
Because if you're a good driver while high, no one's gonna know the difference because you're good.
Yeah. But it's
I
a level.
smoke.
It's a level of responsibility. It's a level of responsibility, and not everybody. You mentioned something being an adult. A lot of people are adults. Nobody knows how to act like an adult. Being an adult is stressful. Being an adult has a lot of responsibility. There's a certain criteria you have to carry as an adult.
And
This
you want
ain't, this shit ain't sugar and candy and games.
No, not at all.
And not a lot of, and that's why and that's one of the reasons I'm against weed. I'm against any fucking drug. It's the level of the incompetence of people have sometimes. The sense of lack of responsibility. If you want to smoke, I don't give a fuck if you smoke. I don't care. Do that in your own town, whatever. But if you're a person that I know, you don't have the sense of responsibility for yourself or the people around you, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people don't have that. Like 2020, it's how you fucking say this word? Millennial, right? Millennial.
Mhm.
All these kids, a lot of man-child, a lot of grown-up childs, right? It's like, oh man, it's vape. Oh, that's literally how they all sound. Well, no sense of responsibility.
Yo, we getting old, bro.
Oh, I'm getting younger, man. I ain't getting older.
So, I, have a sense of responsibility. Take actions to take accountable, take accountability for your actions.
Agreed.
Yep, agreed. Like they say, drink responsibly.
Yeah,
Smoke responsibly.
exactly.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fact.
That's fact.
That is
Give me
fact.
that, baby. Give me that.
Yes, yes.
Smokey the Bear.
Yeah.
Feel me down.
They're gonna bring him back. Watch, they're gonna bring him back.
They need to
He's
bring
back.
him back.
He is back.
He's back.
He don't look the same though.
Look at Melissa in the back. What's up, Melissa?
Que lo que?
What just happened?
Smokey the Bear.
Love it.
Smokey the Bear.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of trials and error around this. To each his own.
I think it'll turn out all right. Once they get the kinks out of it, it'll turn out all right. Because shit.
I just hope
That's what we need.
I just hope they do right by it, right? Because it's like so many years fighting, you finally got it. It's like what's her name? What's her name? Rose. Oh,
Roseanne?
no. Back in the day, this woman, she sat on the front of the bus, right?
Oh,
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks.
There you go, Rosa Parks. She fought for us to sit in front of the bus, right? To only 22. Everybody wants to sit back in the bus. They don't give a fuck.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. And I love and respect what Rosa Parks did and everything, right? But the thing is, us in this generation,
We don't give a fuck.
I realized, no, the back of the bus was always the coolest part. I done did some shit in the back of the bus now. So, like, it was always the coolest thing in my time, like, in the time that I grew up, like, yo, back of the bus, kissing on the shorty in the back, whatever, y'all doing whatever, yeah, I mean, whatever the case may be. So, that I did, yeah, but no one ever, like, sitting in the front. But back then, in that time, in Rosa Parks time, it was for a reason.
Yeah, because the back is where the party at.
Fun fact, Rosa Parks was just one of many in a group coalition who collectively came up with this concept and idea to go about this strategically the way that they did. It was although they did what they did, it was overshadowed by what Dr. King happened to be doing at the time. But the overall idea of it had to do with not just standing up for your rights to sit on a bus the right way or wherever you wanted, but it had a bigger message and a bigger impact to do with the civil rights situation that was going on at the time. They were trying to make a point, but it was able to be down to Rosa Parks in the history books now to for the purpose of being able to just have a minimal conversation over it rather than go in depth about what it was really for and how it really actually impacted the communities thereafter. So there was a lot more to it. For anybody that does listen and tunes in, if you have history, go in the comment section at all and share some of that with us, or let us know what you got. But at the same time, go and research, because you're only going to get better if you do the research. And that's why we do these builds, so that anything and any gem that we put out is able to be even broadened even further by somebody else who has that passion for it. There's a lot of numbers, man, and people, and a bigger crime is being told that you have access, but then being trained not to go look for it.
True.
Sweet.
True.
Yeah.
That is true.
Which is and that's the problem with today's society. Everything is it's accessible, right? That it's so accessible and simple that you don't want to go and look for it.
Right.
And you're satisfied on what they're giving you.
Yep.
And that's something to be like I did a podcast the other day with Nick, another lost tapes, right? And we were talking about like kids after 95, was it, Nick, that do not know how to write cursive?
Yeah. Most
That's
likely
bananas,
don't.
man.
Most likely don't. And because y'all already know we was writing cursive like every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Sometimes we wrote cursive so much we forgot just how to write in regular plain old English. Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ABC's two different ways: cursive and standard.
Mm-hmm. But not even standards. The way everything's through computer. You gotta write everything through on the computer. That's your handwriting is gonna fade away, because why they're gonna look at it. Why do I need to write it when I got a computer or have a cell phone?
Right, and then your punctuations too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
punctuation.
Your signature is your finger on a digital. You got digital signatures now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your signature is more digital.
And anybody can hack your shit now. Digital signature. Anybody can go on your computer and do anything now.
Before, you had to physically have your hands to be able to do your signature.
Yeah.
It was almost fingerprint.
That's crazy.
That was exactly
Yeah, they
that's
limit
worry.
your digital signatures, though. They definitely do limit it. When it comes to traditional financing and all that, yeah, you could DocuSign certain things, but they still require you in person for other things. Like, they're not going to allow you to DocuSign everything, but the things that are legally allowed to, you can. But anything else, like if you're buying a house, for example, yeah, you could DocuSign some of the shit, like with your realtor and shit like that, whatever. But when it comes to closing, you ain't DocuSign shit.
Bro, I don't know about Philip in the state of New Jersey. Shit, that ain't real. We had a closing. Everything was DocuSign. Our lawyer for the property for the clients. Everything's digital now through Zoom. Does everything online.
Well, they changed it there, yeah. Because in PA, when I closed on my house about a year and a half ago, I had to go to the title office and everything, settlement day and everything. And I'm signing the whole thing. I said, God damn, like signature, initial, all hand.
Was that
we don't do that here.
Was that before the pandemic?
No, that was during the pandemic. Even before, when I purchased my other house previously before this one, same thing.
You know what's going to solve this issue? Moving to the metaverse.
The metaverse.
That's what's going to solve.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to own some land. I'm trying to own a rental property in the metaverse.
What is the metaverse?
Exactly.
That's the Oculus. The Oculus, Facebook, Instagram.
Exactly.
It's the future. That's what it is. It's the future, and nobody can deny it. Because the more you try to deny it, as Elvis, you said earlier, when you try to deny it to the people, they're going to want it more. That's like with Bitcoin. People saying, no, the Bitcoin. Guess what? Everybody's more hungry for it. Everybody wants more crypto now because they're trying to stop people from using it, this, that, and the third. Everybody wants it more now.
What was
and
the
that's
internet?
the same thing. You want in and out. I hear you.
What was the internet in 1995?
That was
AOL.
revolution.
AOL.
That was a AOL.
And it's gonna break.
Boom. Yeah, it's yeah.
Listen, we're going metaverse is gonna break. Because just like right now, everything is all nice, and for every good thing, there's a bad thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. It's already some shit going on already in the metaverse.
Yeah, and you're gonna see things like you're gonna see things. The same thing we have struggles now is gonna be the same thing over there, and it's gonna break. That's easy to break. Believe it or not, all you have to unplug everything.
Yeah.
But you want to know what's funny though with this whole metaverse thing? You have to really think about half the movies they put out, and they said, well, these are just futuristic ideas. These will never come to fruition and shit. Remember Demolition Man? What was that? Sylvester Stallone
and Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, right? And these other movies, yeah, that shit was.
And you know who's gonna save us?
You
know who's gonna save us more of that shit?
Oh,
Will Smith. I Am Legend, right?
Yeah.
Right? I Robot. It's like think about it. Think about it.
No, that's true. That's true. There was a movie that came out before the pandemic hit.
I mean,
back in
you watch the
07.
ending scenes of I Am Legend, the delete ones, because that not the one that's in the movie, but the ones that resurface. Like that's Jada with no hair. Like you can't deny that shit. I'm just like shit.
Yo, don't worry, Theo. Look, I got your back. I got your back. He might turn in the Hancock and come through the screen, bro. My name, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Man, fuck. Well, I fucks with Will Smith, but in that instance, I still don't agree with that shit. I'm sorry, I just
with the slapping in the face.
Yeah, just the whole thing overall, his reaction. Like, I get it, I respect it. That's your wife. But my whole thing is
she
this:
got out of entanglement.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're,
you know what? Let's talk about it. I've been refusing to talk about this shit.
Okay,
I've been refusing. Let's talk about it. So let's talk. I honestly, I don't even share it on social media. Like I refuse to talk about it because the more you give shit, the more you give ignorance light, and the more it's going to expand.
Right? Yeah, but I think this is worthy though because a lot of people have different views on it. Like for me, my whole thing is this: yes, that's my wife, right? And me and Zay, we had a conversation about that.
Zay Rodriguez?
And he said this. Shout out to Zay Rodriguez. We sat there and said, well, if that was me, I wouldn't be in that situation, period. And I said, yeah, I agree, because the moment she disrespected me publicly, I would have dumped her. You know what I mean? I would have divorced her, got rid of her and everything. Because like my whole thing is like, yo, you airing every aspect of me personally that's supposed to be between me and you to the fucking world. You said my sex. You said my sex game is weak. Somehow at the time, my daughter, she's 11 years old, and she know more about Tupac than what the fuck I know. That's insane to me, because if you're my wife and the mother of my child, and my daughter knows about a nigga you used to date or whatever the case, like they claim they never date. Come on, Pac was tearing that ass up.
My
like,
thing
I
is
don't care what nobody.
I hate the fact that I hate the fact that she grew up. She raised her kids idolizing another man,
and that's disrespectful. And I told people that all the time. And like people try to say, well, in marriages you go through shit. I said, yeah, that's true. But I said, in an open marriage, you's a fucking idiot. I said, if you're open to another man dicking down your wife for her own pleasures and shit like that, entanglements and all, then you could be okay with a motherfucker that said a G.I. Jane joke.
Well, first of all, I don't think
And fuck her alpaca,
Nah.
alopecia, whatever the case may be, because the simple fact is straight up
Evan's just
with
shaking
this, cause real shit, like, bro, you been bald. Everybody know you been bald. You was rocking that shit. Nigga, ain't nobody know you had half the world ain't even know you had the alpaca alopecia thing until the slap.
here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, right? So, like, when it comes to the
Say that
entanglement,
emotions.
he rests his case. When it comes to the entanglement, I don't put that on Jada or on Will. I put that on our ghost on Cena, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Because that's a bitch ass move what he did, trying to get publicity because he was dropping a new album. That's some bitch ass shit.
But that's what everybody do. They do something to promote something. That's part of that celebrity bullshit. If you ain't got no attention, you ain't got no attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
but
some
also,
kid
here's
shit.
the thing is too, like, yo, Jaden Smith's friend as well, right?
Mm.
Your mom is banging your best friend basically in the same crib. Like, it don't look right.
Listen, what happens in closed doors?
I mean?
What happens in closed doors and marriages? We are no one to judge what's going on behind doors. When you choose to belittle your significant other, you're belittling yourself. You know why? Because you choose to marry, you choose to be whoever you with that person. So if you're saying your man has weak sex, you got weak sex too. If you're saying your man is stupid, you stupid too. You know why? Because you chose that. You chose that.
Man.
Whether it's true or not, you chose that. You chose to have those kids. So you're belittling yourself as a person. Like, once you lose if you lose money, bro, you could get money back. Yeah, it won't be the same amount, but go get a job, you'll get money. But once you lose your character, you lose everything.
I need somebody to fill me in on what's going on. What happened with Jada? She blasted Will.
Yeah, she did some hoe shit. That's some hoe shit.
Her red table talk thing. She been disrespecting Will for like forever on that shit. Like, like, bro, I never watched the red table talk, but I've watched.
But you don't need to. The meme says it all.
Yeah, the meme says it all, and you like, damn. I'm like, yo, like, as a man, you cannot be my queen. You cannot be my lady.
He's always
my wife.
He's always put her. Put her on a pedestal. Always, And
he put her on a pedestal, living up to a man she never let go. Like, she never let Pac die. You know, she never got over it. So,
and I'm sorry,
it's on Will. Like, that whole situation, it's on Will. It's Will's fault and it's Jada's fault, as Dio said. Because at the end of the day, you telling people you never wanted to marry Will Smith, but you did anyway.
Yeah,
you never wanted to marry him. You didn't want to have kids. So, but you still did it anyway. So that's it's just as much as it's her fault. It is Will's fault too, because at the same time, you sitting here trying to
belittle him. You're belittling yourself.
So Will is trying to please her to the fullest, just to get her attention. Like, bro, there are other women out here that would give you the attention you were seeking.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong, we all fuck up because us as men, we do love hard. We do love hard, and we do some ridiculous shit just for that one woman's attention, that one woman's love.
100%.
That thing that we sometimes just crave for. Like, no, I just want her. I just want her to love me. I used to be like that, and I got over that shit. I said, man, fuck all that shit, because I realized that shit ain't it. That shit will destroy your life. You'll be older before you know it. By the time you finally get that love, it's being in retirement.
And listen, like. And I don't doubt Jada's feelings, because when it comes to a relationship, there's always two sides of the story, right? And the thing is, what people tend to not see is that both of them are not wrong, because you're seeing it from your point of view and I'm seeing it from my point of view. Right? It's again cause and effect, and this is something that we all, either your ego or your pride, as women and men, we tend to ignore. You know, where your feelings is not wrong and mine is not either, right? So I don't knock her for her feelings. I knock her on the way you do things, because you're on your show, you're talking with your daughter, you're talking with your mother, and you're bashing the man. Like, that's
the head of the household. You're
Yeah,
destroying the head of the household.
that's the equivalent of being in a Hispanic family. That's what Hispanic family do. They'll sit there and the top of the conversation is your marriage, your status. You don't do that. And you especially don't do that when you're showing it to you know, million whatever people. And fine, if you want to make some money, yeah, go do a fucking another movie.
Exactly.
You don't, because you're ruining you're ruining your principles, your values.
That's
because at the end of the day,
Will
Smith is a fucking role model. I'd rather have him as a fucking role model than have Tupac as a fucking role model.
Wait, you talking about good Tupac or bad Tupac?
At this point, I don't know.
Which one? Throw my thing to the motherfucking police, or
hit him up, Tupac, or
your
mama Tupac.
Your mama.
Yeah.
Which one?
And even though, still, because you can't deny what Will Smith has done. You can't deny it. It's undeniable. No. He came from the fucking same streets.
That's true. That's true.
Well, because he wasn't gang banging and you know, hanging out with thugs and showing his bing and shit like that. What, you're gonna he's not credible? You're gonna put him down like that? He showed us there's a fucking better way to live life. There's not you don't have to get famous on gang banging.
And also, I do give Will Smith credit, because one thing he has shown, because you know, people say there aren't good black men out here, right? He's a prime example of a good black man. Now, don't get me wrong, ain't nobody perfect. But based off the things he's done, even though Jada has questionable question marks on her, whatever the case may be, but you could tell he loved her, loved his wife,
but
and
still,
all other shit that there.
But still, what you do behind doors, that's your problem. I mean?
I give him credit. Yeah.
Go ahead, Elvis.
Elvis been waiting.
I still don't get my point across, but I'm go ahead, Elvis. You got the floor.
How's Chris Rock doing, guys?
See, I haven't put my point. I still haven't gotten there.
Chris Rock.
Oh, you want to know how Chris Rock's doing? He's selling out shows now. Okay, he's selling out shows. He's getting money.
My whole thing is, well, not my whole thing, but part of it is there is a level of understanding that needs to be had. Okay, what a man and a woman do within the confines of what they agree with is between them. Even when they share it with the world, how they deal with it and how they go about it. I've lived a bunch of different experiences throughout my years, and every single one of them has brought me back to the same thing. Bottom line, if it's between the two of you in agreement, that's what matters most. If that's what breaks, everything else outside does not matter, because what mattered from the get was what you built together to begin with. There is no Will and Jada without Will and Jada. So to even pick them apart this way, it doesn't matter, because they're the ones in and out of it from the get, when they agree to have people involved and not. So how they do things and how they go about things, it's really been a matter of how the public has looked at it and decided to go and throw their opinions into it. How they have dealt with things, you haven't really heard from them since.
Yeah.
And that's
they're hiding right now.
It's based on assumptions. Absolutely, 100%.
Jada may look and seem how she seems because that's how she's being perceived on the media, in social, and through the world, through perspective. But behind those doors, them two niggas is probably fucking right now. And we don't. Them two is
they probably fucking in India.
Now, and we don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with that is, the thing is that is like it's based on assumptions, right? But your whole life is based on entertaining. Her whole talk show is based on entertaining. So without you knowing, you're giving us the right to talk and speculate all this shit.
That's one point I had to tell a couple people before. They was like, "Well, it's not your marriage." Well, yeah, you're right. It's not. But they made it public for everybody to see, everybody to comment. So you can't get. That's like a person on Facebook putting a post up and getting mad because somebody disagrees with what their post says. You made it public, which gives anyone who publicly sees it to respond to it. Rather you like it or not, rather it's yours or not. Once you make shit public, anybody can say anything. It's free game. That's like if I sit there and put something on Facebook and I get mad because a person disagreed with me, I'm like, man, you could go comment on your own shit. But the thing is, I made it public. So when you do shit like that, you open yourself to everything.
Yeah.
Anything that comes your way.
Right. Two more points behind that, and that's to follow up on what you're saying. It is how that public decides to perceive it when you put it out there. What it's not is what the public agrees with, because they didn't come out and agree with the public. The public agreed amongst itself what it decided to say, and the people decided to take it up because that's what the majority decided to say. That's what culture is. But people, again, because they're in those masses, don't have the patience to sit and distinguish the difference. Oh, they haven't put any more out there for us to really talk about besides what we have. So, of course, we're going to perceive it how we want. They've got a whole lifetime of this shit. So who are we to be able to come in and say what we're saying with the little information that we have compared to what they've been through? They only give us, despite how much it is, they only give us what they give us in doses.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
To end my overall point, Will is fucking Will Smith. If you think for a second here that he's sitting at home watching Jada fucking August and he's not up somebody else's guts, you're crazy. That is
absolutely. Absolutely. But here's the thing. It's all about presentation. How you choose to present yourself, that's on you. Nobody needs to be if he is or is not, that's nobody's business.
Exactly.
It's up to you. How do you want to be perceived? You had to be in control of your narrative, right?
And here's how I end that point. Will was in charge of that narrative. He, despite it being a dumbass choice, got up Oscars and slapped the man for a joke. Which, to end this, you do not, under any circumstances, approach the stage to address a comedian when you knew full fucking well what you walked in there for. Bottom line, this all goes back to being an adult with responsibilities. You know what you're doing. You know who Chris Rock is, how he talks. You know who Jada is in the movies that she's been in. You know Will Smith, the comedian / rapper that he is. For all of this to be wrapped into the seriousness that it is nonsensical, and it only drives up sales for people we don't ever see.
And this is why I initiated the conversation. I don't want to talk about it for that point exactly. Now I'm that's what it is. I'm gonna end up my closing statement. Then you and Steven can Nick, you and Steven can end up with yours, right? So when we go to the entanglement, that's a bitch ass move that August Ansani did. Because a real man wouldn't do that. A real man would have stitched that the fuck up and continued to eat his cake. And he got mad because they didn't want to give him no cake no more. So he got salty. All right. and Nick, I know you know what I'm talking about. right? Second of all, when it comes to the slap and all this shit, it's difficult. I understand all points of view, but I understand this. I understand that the person who got slapped shouldn't be the one to get slapped. But I do understand that somebody did need to get slapped, because whether you want to be cultural or whatever the fuck you want to call it, people got too used to being disrespectful. People got comfortable talking shit on social media, saying things they shouldn't be saying, right? And they got just way too comfortable. The thing you could say, you could, people think nowadays you can say something with not being held accountable, right? And I find that so like disturbing in a way, right? I think somebody should have been, that goat against slapped. I don't think it should have been Chris Rock, but yet what better platform to do it on, right? Because if you follow the red carpet, it was, I think, the gentleman who directed what he directed, something famous, right? That whole award show was all set up for Black greatness. That's facts. Look it up, right? And yet what destroyed it was our brothers, our Black brothers and sisters, right?
And that goes deep.
Yeah. That's why, you see all the memes with Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry. They stopped. They boom. The only white man that actually tried to calm that was Bradley Cooper. Isn't that not disturbing? That was set up to fuck us up, and you're not seeing it. You're focused on she's being a little thought, putting him on. He's going through a fucking mental shit because all along before this happened, he's being disrespected because the entanglement. Shame on you, because you shared it and you partook on it and you joked about it, right? Yet again, being an adult, taking accountability, lack of, right? So they diminish the man, they diminish the woman, they diminish the culture, and yet we're here still talking shit and sharing them. Right now, Chris Rock, he was a sacrificial lamb. I hate the fact that he had to be him, but he was a sacrificial lamb. Right now, he's selling out with his new stand-up show. Right now, Will Smith is getting nonstop offers. Right now, fucking Jada's probably getting dick down, and she's happy. Who's to say? No disrespect, no point intended, right?
But America's the one funding exactly what you just mentioned.
Yeah,
for those
and yet they keep sharing and talking about it and sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I go reiterate. What I said in the beginning. I don't want to talk about it. My wife, everybody, no, I don't want to talk about it because this is all. This is whole. Believe it or not, it's a plot. It's a plot. And who got hurt? A culture. The way they see Black men, the way they see Black women, and this is not just in any Black man. He's held to a standard. He sits here and try to uplift people, right? Do different things, show emotions, raise his kids with good values and morals.
My kids ain't that dang good, but all right.
You're right. Listen, when you turn 18, when your kids turn 18, that's on them. You did your part.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So while everybody sat and continued to do this shit, you're only affecting yourself as a culture. And yet, going back to our previous conversation, right? They're just waiting for us to fuck up. And each and one of us are given a reason to fuck up so they can take over. And now from being adult and having all free will, now we become slaves, which we become children, and giving them the point of view or direct our narrative and where we go, where we shouldn't go. And I'm not being, what is the fucking word?
Malicious.
No, not malicious. I'm not going down. I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole. This is essentially common sense. This is you as an adult that you are the responsible. Sit down and see what's in front of you. You have a choice to digest what you want to digest.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not doing your due diligence, that's on you. Blame yourself. Take accountability for oneself. And don't blame the government. Don't blame other people. Blame yourself. And this is how I end my statement. God damn it.
All right. Yeah, that was good right there. I agree with you, Theo, especially on the part where, because this was one of my key things too, and I pointed it out in a couple conversations where people asked me about it. I said, yeah, I may be frustrated with how that thing happened, how it went down, right? As I stated before, Will is just as fault as in Jada, right? Obviously, basically what we saw and what we know. Yeah. And like Elvis said, we don't know exactly what goes on behind closed door.
Facts.
But based off what you gave, we're all entitled to say something because you made it public, right? So now, the one thing is, though, what that did, because if you go back when Jada was saying Oscar's so white and this, that, and third, you know what I'm saying? Previous year before, a couple of years ago, whatever the case may be. And so my whole thing with that was, I'm like, all right, you said all that, and then when y'all get there, this happens. Not only does it make Black folks look bad, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that, it does diminish the culture, as you says. It makes this looks like, well, damn, the saying they say you can't take Black people nowhere. Black people can't come out the hood, as they say, and this and that. Because all those things and stereotypes ran through a flash through my mind. Yeah, I know I'm an asshole because I made fun of this shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm be realistic too, though. And all them stereotypes that you can't take a nigga out the hood and this, that, and third, and all this other bull, they don't not act. All that shit, everything that's always been said that I heard as a child and growing up, and I've been blessed to live for 33 years so far. All them things ran through my mind with that whole situation. Now, I don't agree with the slap because I'm sorry. To me, the joke was hilarious. I'm sorry. I was dying because look, and to me, it really wasn't a bad joke because I ain't gonna lie. G.I. Jane, the movie was the shit. It was. And that was Demi Moore, if I'm not mistaken. Demi Moore killed that, John. And to get a comparison like that, I can understand it was a joke, but I'm like, okay, Demi Moore, okay, shit, I really thought that it was going to be a G.I. Jane 2 when I first heard the joke. I'm like, oh, okay, they must be revealing like, yo, we working on G.I. Jane 2. Until I seen, the little commotion with it as it went along. And like, my whole thing is like, yeah, it's messed up because it's Chris Rock. Let me tell you something about comedians. There ain't no limit with comedians. Mm-hmm. You know what comedians there for. They tell you straight up, if you go into a comedian show or a comedian is the host, don't ever sit up in the front row. Mm-hmm. Right or wrong.
Right.
All the time. You sit up in the front row, you might get roasted. That's part of the game. That's always been comedy from the get-go.
Facts.
The whole thing about a comedian is just to get a laugh out of people and half the crowd laugh. Now, also, here's the other thing, too. As you pointed out, Bradley Cooper consoled Will Smith. Tyler Perry consoled him, whatever. His wife, to me, which I found his wife didn't even console him. Like, yo, all right, yeah, Will had a mental breakdown. You could tell. And let's be real, he definitely did. Obviously, there's more stuff going on within him mentally than ever. And part of it is because of that marriage, and I'm pretty sure it's probably other things with it too. But Chris Rock didn't deserve that. A lot of people sat there and said that's how you protect your queen and this, that, and third. I said, bro, half the dudes that sat there and said that, let the chicks you deal with did everything Jada's been doing. Yeah. See if you be saying the same thing. I said, y'all probably got more balls than Will. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Will Smith a punk or nothing. Will ain't never been a punk. Like, if you from Philly and folks that grew
it's not the first time
Philly,
he slapped somebody.
Yeah, because the dude across the country tried to kiss him and he slapped him.
Yeah.
And so ain't no punk and Will or nothing like that. But also at the same time, when you look at it, a lot of dudes sitting like, nah, bro, y'all would have did something else. Everybody saying Pac would have shot Chris Rock or this, that, and third, or this, that, and third. But the thing is, overall, it's just the disrespect, the internal disrespect that Will's been receiving. That slap wasn't for Chris. That slap was for Jada. And I'll be real with you. That's what I honestly.
That slap was for everybody who tried him.
Yeah, and the thing is, because look, Will Smith and Chris Rock, they always had a good relationship.
Mhm.
They don't went on family vacations together and all this other stuff. Like it was never the same. There, you could look it up and see they had a great relationship,
Yeah.
obviously. So, like I said, it was more so frustrating because I honestly believe Will wanted to smack Jada, and not saying that I condone the woman abuse or anything like that, but she's quite deserving of a slap based off how she's been and her actions and this, that, and third. Because my thing is this: what goes on in our house stays in our house. I don't care if I'm a celebrity or not, whatever the case would be. Our business, our personal business, stays within us. That's it. When you let the world into it, or you let outside family members into it, that's when it gets all fucked up and everything like that. I dealt with exes that I done told certain things that I've said this shit outside of between us two, and it ruined a lot of things. So overall, I think I'm gonna just end it right there because I agree with what you said as well, Theo. It definitely did put the wrong spotlight on us as minorities, as they say, and I honestly I feel like it took a couple steps back as well.
Yeah.
Like overall, just because that happening on that platform
Mm-hmm.
and everything else, and based off the Oscar so white and everything else, and then also it's just the lack of people that were actually checking on Will
Mm-hmm.
versus checking on Chris too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing too. It seemed like they didn't really check on Chris. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think Chris.
And
Yeah.
when Diddy popped up, I wanted to tell Diddy, sit your ass down before we play hit him up. Like that was the only thing because Diddy needed to shut up. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
he said, we're gonna handle this like family. Man, bro, shut your ass up. Like I'm sorry, Diddy, he gets dismissed. He gets dismissed. But that's my ending closing statement, man.
Steven.
Listen, I can't really say anything about it because I don't know anything that went down. All I saw was the meme.
He's like, I'm working. I'm making
I'm
this
working.
money.
I'm making money out here. I didn't get to see all. I don't even know what went down. So there's no response from me. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna end this at this before we go, right? I think Will Smith regarding his marriage, it's like it's one of those things that you're in love with somebody, but that person is not in love with you. And you keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. Just hope maybe hopes one day you're wrong. Well, that person is wrong and they're actually in love with you. I think that's what happened. But also like I'm gonna keep it G, bro. Like I'm tired. I'm not gonna say I'm losing hope. I'm gonna say I'm just done. I'm done with all this shit, right? Because it's you got everybody break the cycle, break the cycles, break the cycle, and all this, and Juniorish and all this shit. But yet, that's a term when it's convenience. It's convenience because what you need to fucking do. But you're not willing to do that. You want to sit there and bitch around what to do this, and then when the time comes, what are you doing? I build a fucking platform and where I do my best to give people the opportunity to tell their story and get themselves out there. Yeah, I'm not fucking big. This ain't fucking CNN. This ain't, I ain't the 80-95 show, whatever that shit's called. But I'm doing something. And yet, yeah, there you go. Shout out to them. And yet, I started to feel like sad and I'm letting myself down. And so I realized, nah, fuck them. You letting yourself down yourself. And essentially this is what's going on, right? Like everything's convenience. We argue about equality, but yet we're the ones affecting ourselves. We argue about unity and all this shit, but yeah, we're diminishing our own kind. So I'm done. You know, I'm done with all this shit. And I'm a king. I'm a king. I don't have to tell that to anybody. I don't have to prove that to nobody. I'm a fucking king. And as hood as this is gonna sound, you want to fuck with me, you fuck with me. If not, don't waste my time. I'm fucking done. I'm about to build something, and I hope those join me to build something. Because in order to build something, to build good foundation, you need kings to build kings. Because only kings understand the struggle and the hardship and the stress and the worriness to build something. And if you ain't about that, then fuck you. Point blank, fuck you. Right? Because I'm trying to build something not for me, but for my generation that I bring to this world. Like you got a son, Elvis. Steven, you got 5 kids. Nick, you got 2 beautiful daughters. I need to teach him that in order for you to become successful, in order for you to build something, you need to work your ass off so you can keep it. Because I'll be damned if I build something, my kids tend to enjoy it and lose it all.
I'd be pissed.
I'll be pissed.
I would be pissed.
Right? So, I know it sounds a little difficult and harsh, but yeah, man, I'm done. And this has been one of Lost Episodes, Lost Tapes. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
My name is Elvis Malcolm King Matos. I am an actor. I am a creative, an artist, an executive who sees the value in my community, giving back to my community as a mentor as well. I speak less and less and less of the topic of Will and Jada, as you guys saw, not because I don't follow and don't care, but because I am now on their level and passing it. Understand where I'm at. I am not part of the culture. I am culture. So y'all, if you're looking for people to look up to, if you're looking for people who are genuine, who come from where you come from, you're looking at them. All of them, all 4 of them are in here. And every time we get together and collect things and build, these are the individuals that you can begin to look to. Fuck the I give up and these people are making us look bad and steps backwards. They're not stepping back. Nothing went backwards. Everything is moving forward. I'm not any less of a great king than I am just because Will smacked Chris. Will, like everybody's been saying, is on his own doing his thing. Will is benefiting from all the good and the bad regardless. So if people want to use that as a trope and excuse themselves out of things, that's how you're going to continue seeing things through the world. You're not going to get any further in life with the mentality of they have to be the ones to change anything. Let them live and make mistakes. You have to be and carry yourself for your own legacy if that's what you want to do, or look for outside sources like us, who the nobodies right now, and give us your game, give us your time, give us your ideas and your presence, your monies, everything that you do when you idolize about these celebs who don't even know you is nonsensical for you just because they do great movies that help you be entertained for 5 minutes. We do the same thing and we're building up to that. So come fuck with us, because the more you fuck with us, the more we are going to give back to you, the people we come from. Point blank, period. So I address myself as such, and I'm going to end with this. It's my statement, my slogan, how I live, part of my culture, part of my lifestyle, part of what I give back to my community daily. Nothing in this world has any meaning except the meaning you give it. You are community. You our people. You our family, friends, elements, cousins, sisters, you name it. You, me, Dio, Steven, mother freaking OG, dog. Nick, you get what I'm saying? Like everybody heard you are it. Fuck Will Smith he already made what he made.
Yeah.
He can go blank and dark right now if he wants to, and he'll be fine the rest of his life. It's our time now. In fact, if you've been idolizing Will for over 20 years, you're wrong. Find some new blood to look up to because he already did his job and inspired the next generation. They're in here. What makes you think we're not gonna be better than they are right now? You got it twisted. And so at the end of the day, you make the collective culture. You decide who gets to be important and not, and what ends up being the discussion. Make the right choice. Especially if you're tuning in. Tap into your royalty. You know what it is.
Nick.
All right. I like what y'all both said. I agree. I was born a king, and I'm a die king. That's a fact. Now, I am an asshole, but I'm a realist at the same time. I'm an asshole because I laugh at certain shit. I laugh at my own pain. So overall, what y'all both said was very powerful. And I agree 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. We're the next standard to set the next trend as far as what's next. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm going to say is this. Besides the asshole part, I'm an actor, aspiring actor. I'm an investor, aspiring investor. I love stocks. I love it all. I'm a good logical thinker when I take my assholeness away because I just think it's funny sometimes. I'm going to be real with y'all. But y'all know that about me now. Like, I got some crazy ass jokes. I'm like, yeah, cool. But overall, great things is happening. And the last thing I'm going to say is this. Pizza boys, look the fuck thing.
Boom. Steven.
Bird. I'm gonna end it with this. I don't care about those guys. I don't live their lives. I got my own life to worry about. They're doing their lives. They've already reached their goals. They've done everything they had to do. Me, I'm focusing. I'm a business owner. I own a residential commercial power washing business. I'm out there to make money, make big money. Don't sleep on me. You know, Aquanomics is gonna go to the top. Anyways, I'm not concerned. I want to put a future together for my kids. I want them to learn the business. I want them to grow to be better than me. So at the end of the day, it's about us. It's not about them. We don't have to worry about them. They live their lives already. So that's how I'm gonna end it.
Boom. And with that, I'm gonna end it like this. You want to be a king? Here's the crown. We already built the foundation for you. Go do something with that. I'm out. Have a good night, guys. Boom.
Peace.